All right, a number of reported crossings coming up for you momentarily. SAPS Lieutenant General Khosi Senthumule is expected to testify before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry about the movements of those 121 dockets after being taken from the Political Killings Task Team. Last week, we heard the fact-finding probe hearing from the Serious and Violent Crimes Unit head. This was Mary Motsepe, about how these case files arrived in Pretoria at the end of last year. Motsepe did mention Senthumule as having called her to accompany her to suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya's office. This is where a decision was taken to transfer these investigations to the murder and robbery unit. Senior politics reporter Ziyanda Ngcobo is at the Brigitte Mabandla Justice College and joins us now. Ziyanda, I'm missing you, I must say, because usually we do these crossings and I'm right there with you. But it has been, again, a return to an aspect of these allegations around the 121 dockets. A lot has been said about them, whether it is in Parliament or at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Talk to us about the testimony we're anticipating in this regard today.
I mean, Iman, good morning. I miss you too. But really and truly speaking, this issue around the 121 dockets is at the heart of why we have an ad hoc committee and this Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, because it's the movement of these dockets from KwaZulu-Natal and them being taken to Pretoria that seems to have set off a chain of events and in essence really caused tensions between Lieutenant General Dumsani Khumalo, who heads up the Political Killings Task Team but is also the head of crime intelligence, as well as suspended Deputy National Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya. So last week we heard from Mary Motsepe. She heads up that serious and organized crime unit, which has several units underneath it: stock theft, including murder and robbery. And so she told the commission how these dockets arrived by the end of March last year, as you'd already mentioned, Iman. But she was told that they're there for an audit process, and they were actually supposed to have been returned back on the same day or within a few days. But instead of that, she says she went on leave, and that when she came back, those dockets were still in Pretoria. Now, the testimony of Lieutenant General Khosi Senthumule becomes important because Mary Motsepe says she received the call from Lieutenant General Senthumule to say, well, we need you to firstly your team to conduct the audit process. But when those dockets also did not go back to KZN, it was Senthumule again who Motsepe says called her to Sibiya's office to say, well, these dockets, because Mkhwanazi seems to not want them back, will now have to fall within your murder and robbery unit. And a key issue here, Iman, that Motsepe testified about was how the confusion over who is the rightful custodian of these dockets, I beg your pardon, is what she says actually aggravated what could have been an easy situation. And, you know, I recall Commissioner Madlanga, the chairperson, really asking, well, do you blame the KZN top cop and Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi not wanting anything to do with the return of the dockets back to KZN, if indeed it is to be true that those dockets were taken without his knowledge in the first place? And Motsepe saying, yes, she can actually, put herself in Mkhwanazi's shoes. So Khosi Senthumule may be the key link in understanding who made the call to actually take those dockets from KZN to Pretoria for an alleged audit process. Why were the dockets then, after the audit process, nothing happened to them? What stalled them being returned? But also, who took the decision then to now take those dockets and then put them under Mary Motsepe's unit, and the issues around the disbandment of the Political Killings Task Team? What did she understand to be the reason behind the disbandment, as well as where that might have come from? Because that is at the heart of some of what is being investigated. Was it influenced by political interference? Was it criminal infiltration? These are some of the key issues that we expect to hear from the Lieutenant General this morning, Iman.
And it's so interesting, Ziyanda, how what we're hearing from the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry particularly when we think of Vusimusi Matlala's testimony, they really do connect. So we have to read these two hearings in tandem. Thank you for that update. We'll be back with you a little bit later on.